Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2017 movie Papillion. It's time to recall. Let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we see a handsome-looking gentleman, Henri, who has the capability to pick the lock of any locker in the world. We see him demonstrating his talents as he goes on to pick a safe locker and takes out some diamonds. He gives 70% of these diamonds to his boss and keeps the remaining with him. When he goes to see his boss, he goes on to see that they are beating up a man very badly, but he does not give a crap about that because it's a routine thing for them now. He then makes his way back home where his girlfriend is waiting for him. We learn that she wants to get settled in with him, have their own house in which they can start their life together. Her name is Nanette. He tells Nanette to just give him 6 more months and he will have enough money for them to get settled with ease. However, things really do not go as he planned because the very next day he gets arrested. It is told that he has murdered someone. The man from the last night had been found dead. It is revealed that he is beaten to death, and one of the men who went to testify as a witness has told police that he saw Papillion there, so they now think that he is the murderer. It, however, seems like he has been framed by his own boss. Though he has an alibi from his lover, Nanette, Papillion is convicted and condemned to the notorious penal colony in French Guiana, a hellish prison from which nobody has escaped. His girlfriend goes to him and tells him that she can appeal for him, but he says that he would try to escape the prison rather than trying this way because no one is going to listen to them in the court. He then tells her that he does not know how much time it takes for him to get out of the prison, so she can move on if she wants. She says no to it. When Nanette leaves, another inmate named Gilot goes on to talk to him. He goes on to tell Papillion that if he wants to escape this prison, he is going to need a lot of money. He then goes on to show him another inmate named Dega, who is a counterfeiter. When they are walking to the ship that is about to take them to prison, Papillion goes on to set his eyes on Dega. It is clear that this man is famous, and a lot of people recognize the man by face. He is told that this man is really rich and he is carrying a lot of money with him even in prison. He approaches the man and goes on to offer him his protection if Dega is willing to shower some money on him, but Dega declines right away. Dega is in his cell when he sees a man killing another man. This man goes on to slice open the other man to take out the money in his stomach. Dega tries to alert the guards, but they do not give a crap about that once they have been paid well not to step in. The next day, Papillion again comes to see the man and offers him his protection for Dega's money again, and this time he talks about an escape too. Dega has seen what happened last night with a man who had some money, so he decides to form an alliance with Papillion. Papillion, however, makes it abundantly clear that there should not be a third man in this party, and Dega agrees right away. Dega now says that he would like to spend Christmas with his family, so they better devise a plan quickly. When all the prisoners are sleeping the next night, the same prisoner that killed the other prisoner for money last night, he now goes on to make his move on Dega. Papillion, however, comes to Dega's rescue and goes on to beat the crap out of the man with ease. As the fight goes on, the other prisoners go on to cheer, and it attracts the attention of the guards. They only stop when the guards intervene, telling them to put a stop to the fight right away. They then go on to catch Papillion and punish him, but not the other man, because they are probably being paid by him. The next morning, when all of them wake up, they are already at the island where they are going to be imprisoned. Gilot comes to Papillion and asks him for a cover. This is when Gilot goes on to cut himself and then intentionally falls off the ladder. When a guard comes to check on him, it turns out he is injured, so he is taken away to the infirmary while the other prisoners are already marching toward the prison. Gilot winks at Papillion as he is taken away by the guards on a stretcher. When they are inside the prison, Papillion starts looking here and there. He tries to take a quick scan of this prison before he is taken inside his cell. The warden there goes on to tell the prisoners that they should never even think about escaping because it is impossible to get out of this place. When Papillion and Dega enter inside, Papillion tells Dega to stay in a corner. He then goes on to talk to a man and asks them who are pairing up the inmates, and this is when Dega comes in too. Dega goes on to offer the man some money, asking him to bring them a notebook right away. It turns out Dega has kept the money in his butthole because he is not allowed to take it there. As they do that, they hear some noise outside, and it is revealed that a prisoner has tried to escape from the infirmary. When Papillion goes to the window to see what is going on, he sees that it is Gilot who is trying to get out of there. He staged all that injury drama to do this, of course. All the prisoners are now in line and they are to be assigned the work they are going to be doing in prison. It is revealed that Poppy and Dega have already been assigned work in the infirmary, but the deputy warder does not really seem to like Dega, so he goes on to put them on Route 0. Route 0 is the most brutal task. There, they are supposed to collect rocks and even lift the heavy ones, so Dega is not really the man to be there, as he is a rich lad who has never ever done any labor like that. The man finds it hard to even push a simple cart. He is really weak, and as time goes by, he goes on to tell Papillion that he is having a bad stomach, which is why he has already lost some money. Papillion knows that the money is important. He right away stops pushing and starts looking for the money on the track they are pushing the big cart. When they are sitting there to eat later on, Dega goes on to see that the man sitting beside him is already dead. Dega is about to call the guards, but another man gets there. This man is Cellier, and he tells Dega not to call anyone. He goes on to take the dead man's food and distributes it among Dega, himself, and Papillion. They then go on to talk about the lives they used to have when they were not in the prison. In the meantime, Dega gets attacked by another man, and Papillion yet again comes to his rescue. Later, they continue pushing the cart when they are done with their lunch. As they move forward, they come across a cart that has been stuck. There are some women sitting in that stuck cart, and they ask the prison guards for help. The guards go on to tell them to get into the cart Papillion and Dega are pushing, making the cart even heavier. There is also a man among them, and Papillion takes this as an opportunity. He right away talks to the man and asks him to arrange a boat, and they will give him a lot of money. The man on the cart at first says no, and even goes on to call the guards to tell on them, but Papillion quickly raises the offer and the man agrees. Papillion and Dega are later taking a bath after getting back from work when they are attacked by some random prisoners. Dega, of course, cannot even defend himself, so Papillion has to fight them off on his own. Dega then starts shouting, telling Papillion that the guards are coming, and Papillion goes on to shout back at him to shut the fuck up. Later, when they are in the cell and about to sleep, Dega tries to talk to Papillion, who is still pissed. Dega has realized by now that he is not going to be able to survive in this prison. He would have already been dead if it were not for Papillion. So he decides to wait for his wife to get him out of the prison, because by the time she arranges everything, he thinks he will already be dead. He decides that he is just going to get out of this place with Papillion now. It seems like the two have started to form a bond now. The next morning brings horror to the prison, as we go on to see that Gilot has been caught trying to run out of the prison, and on top of that, he accidentally killed a guard too. He is taken in front of all the prisoners in the big yard, where the guards make them all see what happens to the people who try to mess with the prison staff or try to run. Gilot is put into the guillotine, and the next thing we see, his head is rolling down right into the basket near Dega and Papillion, as Dega sees in horror. They then go on to pick Dega and Papillion to take away the dead prisoner's body. On the way, Dega starts to feel sick and lets go of the body. The guard sees this and gets pissed at Dega. He goes on to tell him to continue walking with the body, but Dega is not able to continue because he feels too sick. When the guard sees that he is defying his orders, he goes on to take out his whip, and the next thing we see, Dega screams as the guard whips him. They are in a forest. Papillion does not understand what he should do to help Dega in this situation. He then cannot stand it any longer, so he right away knocks the guard out and runs away in confusion because he just saw what happens to the people who mess with the guards. Papillion keeps running, and the other guards go on to follow him right away. Dega is taken away by two guards who stayed behind. Papillion keeps running, and it is nighttime when he gets to the man whom he talked about the boat. However, it all turns out to be a trap, as the guards have Papillion at gunpoint and he is caught. Papillion is taken to the warden. They tell him that he is lucky that the guard he attacked did not die, so they are now just going to be sending Papillion to another solitary confinement, which is on another island, and he will remain there for the next 2 years. When Papillion is there, he is sick of it. The place is too quiet, and it starts to torture him mentally. He one day receives a coconut with a note saying he is always going to receive coconuts. Papillion is happy because he has realized that this is from Dega. Warden, however, finds out and kills the man that brought him this. The warden then tries to ask Papillion what is going on, but the man does not give away anything. The warden does not like it and cuts his ration in half. This makes Papillion weak, but he still remains in high spirits. The warden comes to him again after a few days and tries to make him talk by giving him food, but Papillion still does not tell him anything, so the warden tells the guards to put him in the dark cell. There, Papillion starts hallucinating. He sees his time out of the prison, his life with Ninette and whatnot. One day he sees a vault and tries to open it but fails. Papillion then opens the vault eventually, but all he sees is his past life on the other side. It was all his imagination. He has been hallucinating this whole time. 2 years have gone by just like that, and he is now brought back to the prison where Dega is. Papillion is kept in the infirmary, where he keeps acting like he has gone mad from the solitary confinement, but in truth, he is just fine. We see that Dega is now an aide to the warden and still has money to fund the escape. Dega also works in the infirmary, so now he right away comes to see him. Dega tells Papillion that Charriere has a connection to get a boat, so he is also on board now, and the sexually abused Margaret is the fourth to join the dangerous venture as Papillion sees him being abused by the infirmary attendant and offers him to escape with them. Dega drugs the guards using pills that are actually meant to sedate a supposedly insane Papillion, and the three others escape over the walls to the jungle, with Dega injuring his leg in the process to reach a boat Dega paid for. As a storm approaches, it is clear that they will not all survive in the small leaky boat. Charriere wants to kill the injured Dega, but Papillion defends Dega, who stabs and kills Charriere as he fights with Papillion. After a treacherous storm destroys their boat, the three survivors find themselves being treated in a Colombian convent. Their apparent freedom is short-lived. The Colombian authorities arrive, kill Margaret, and return Papillion to Royal Island, where he is subjected to 5 years in solitary confinement, while Dega is sent to Devil's Island. Papillion is released from solitary as a weathered older man and sent to Devil's Island, where the high cliffs provide a natural barrier for escape attempts. He finds Dega, who is adjusted to prison life and has no interest in escape. Because a fall from the cliffs would mean certain death, Papillion bags coconuts together for a raft. During a swell of waves, he jumps from the cliffs and survives the fall. The third escape is a success, and he is a free man. He writes a memoir based on his time in prison and escape attempts. The movie postscript reads, "Over 80,000 prisoners were condemned to the penal colony in French Guiana, most of whom never returned to France." Henri Charriere's autobiography, Papillion, became the #1 bestseller for 21 weeks in France. To date, it has sold over 13 million copies in 30 languages. In 1970, the French Minister of Justice signed a decree allowing Charriere to return to France. For the remainder of his life, he lived as a free man. The penal colony in French Guiana did not survive him. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.